Welcome back. This is session 4, Victory School of Business. And this is all about building, scaling, and leadership. So session 4, building, scaling, and leadership. KPIs. Can we talk about KPIs? Key performance indicators. Slightly excited about this topic. So this is where we measure and monitor sales, marketing, profit. Is the business working? My business manager and consultant, he always tells me the numbers is what tells the story, and you need the numbers. You need to monitor, you need to manage the business as a business owner, and your business is always speaking, but we just have to listen. There would be times where, I could meet with, a consultant or, someone in the numbers or, business administration. And I could be like, well, I really feel like, these sizes do really well. This one, not so much. And they're like, where's the numbers? And then when I get the numbers, it confirms what I was feeling and thinking, but the numbers don't lie. And so KPIs are so important. And so what you want to think about in your business is, what can I monitor? And so for me, what I would do is I would look at the sales. So for every week, I would sit down with myself. I'd have a business meeting when it was just me in the business, and I would sit down. Sometimes I have my business meeting with the Lord. Don't play with that one as well. But I would sit down and I would say, okay, how many sales did we make this week? So how much did we make in sales? How many items was that sold? So, we could have sold 10 or 20 or 30 items, but we didn't make as much. And it's like, okay, why is the sales number so low? Oh, because actually it was these new tops that maybe don't have as high a margin as dresses. So, okay, we sold lots of tops this week. So the sales of tops are going really well. But again, I only know this because I sat down with the numbers. Then I look at, how much did I spend on Facebook ads? Because that was where I spent the most money on terms of advertising at the time. How much did I spend on Facebook ads? Okay, wow, I spent this amount on Facebook ads and we made 10% more. Because typically, it was 10% of the overall sales. So for example, if we did 5,000, I'd spent 500 on Facebook ads. So it was typically 10% of the sales. So how much did we spend on ads? We spent that on ads, and it's about 10%. Or I didn't spend much on ads, but we did so much in sales. What happened? Oh, maybe it's an event that we went to and we were somewhere live, or I don't know why sales tipped that. And then maybe I find out a few weeks later that someone on a private Facebook page mentioned it, or a church organization was having something and recommended everyone go and buy from House of Ilona clergy. So that's why there was a sudden spike in sales, or an email did really well. So it's also looking at, okay, I sent 2 emails this week and, then we had this amount. So looking at your KPIs, key performance indicators, what are the things that I can affect? So here are the things that I can do in my business. I can post more on social media, I can send emails, I can go to events, I can do network. These are the things that I can do. What did I do? I cannot always affect the outcome of those things and the output, but I can affect the input. So I make sure I send my emails. I make sure I do this. I make sure the things that I can control, did I do those things? And then what was the result? The result, I can't control it. I could order 1,000 dresses and not sell any. So it's a risk. That is a risk in business. But I could also do that and then I get 1,000 sales, or I overcommit because actually there's even more sales. So now I've got back orders, but sometimes you don't know unless you try, and then you don't know if it's working unless you monitor it. So you have to go and you have to monitor. And again, what is the kingdom impact? Because now we're thinking about leadership. We're thinking about, where am I going next? I'm monitoring what's happening. But the powerful thing you always want to do in business, and something that I feel like the Lord taught me on my business journey, is make your business scalable. So am I working at a place now? For example, when I run Divine Flow Academy, my academy that came out of the book, started with Finding Divine Flow, the book, and then moved on to Divine Flow Academy because people were always wanting to write and learn more about writing. So in the academy, I'm learning, how do I make it scalable? So, okay, I've got 10 people in the academy right now, and I'm sending an email and I do the session and then I do this and I do that. If there were 50 people, would those 4 steps still work? If there were 5,000 1,000 people, would those 4 steps still work? And so what I really tried to make sure when I go forward in business is that it's scalable. So I knew in the beginning of my fashion business, when I was making to order, it's not scalable. I'm one person. If I suddenly get 100 orders through this door, I cannot fulfill it. But if I've got a manufacturer on speed dial and they've already got my designs, they've already got my things, I've already tested them out. If I suddenly get an order for 100 and that money comes in, I know that I can scale it. So where is it scalable? So when I'm printing books to order, it's not scalable because I'm printing. But actually, if I go through Amazon and I go through their KDP, I know that they are printing on demand. So I know that if I suddenly go somewhere and I speak and there's an audience of 500 or 5,000 people and suddenly everyone's buying my book, I don't have to worry about demand because I know that it can be supplied and that the business is scalable because I'm partnering with Amazon and it's print on demand all over the world. So making sure what you're doing is scalable. And I talk about kingdom impact and staying connected to the greater mission because it's the greater mission that drives you. So again, I love to always refer to Isaiah 61 and it says, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me because he has anointed me to. What has he anointed you to do, even in your business? It says to preach good tidings to the meek. It says he sent me to bind up the brokenhearted. Again, the business, you may have a counseling business, and actually what I'm doing, the greater mission is I'm right here in the word because I'm binding up the brokenhearted. Those that are broken, I'm helping to mend and bring their hearts back together. Or he sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives. And actually the work that I do in social justice is I'm proclaiming liberty and I'm helping people find a way out. Or I'm a financial advisor and I'm helping people get out of financial bondage because they feel like they're stuck and they're trapped and there's nowhere else for them to go. So I'm proclaiming liberty to the people who are captive financially in debt, or opening of the prison to those that are bound. So I think it's really powerful to somehow find yourself in the word as well, because that is a greater kingdom impact. So in the midst of what I'm doing, what's the greater kingdom impact? And as I said a few sessions before, even Esther, it could feel like, oh, it's just my beauty, that's all I have. But actually there's a greater kingdom impact because you saved a whole nation through your beauty, which led you to becoming queen, which then gave you a voice and a platform to be able to save your nation and have a voice. So what's really important when you get to this place of, okay, I've started and established my business, it's working and I'm building and I'm scaling and now I'm bringing other people in and I'm leading and I've got partners that I'm working with and stakeholders that I'm working for and with and towards, and I'm now in a place of leadership because maybe I have a virtual assistant or I have a PA or I have a whole team of people that I'm now leading. Mindset is so important. Stay focused on the vision because there's going to be so many things, especially as you begin to grow and get some success. People are like, oh, have you tried this? Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? And people and things pulling you in all sorts of directions. But it's really important to stay focused because you can almost try to grow too fast and too wide. But actually, hold on. Go back a few sessions. What is a vision? What's a purpose? What are the themes? What's the golden thread? What's my why? And making sure that you stay rooted and grounded at that place that you were originally called to. Not that it won't change, but make sure it's intentional. Otherwise, before you know it, you're there and you're there and you're there and you're there and like, I don't even enjoy this business anymore. Like, I don't even recognize this business anymore. And one of the things that I do is I have certain people in my life that I stay accountable to make sure that what I'm doing still resonates with who I am. And making sure that I can have those really vulnerable conversations. Okay, but Camille, why did you make that decision? Because I was chasing the money, because actually that's a really lucrative opportunity. I needed the money at the time. Was that the right decision? Maybe not, because actually it's led me on a path that I don't want to be on. So making sure you can have those real vulnerable conversations and keeping yourself on track. Time management is really important. So again, a few sessions ago, we looked at quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4, and what are my goals? But actually making sure your time is balanced. So I met with a branding client a few weeks ago, and one of the things that we realized that was really important to him was actually, I really need to make sure I've got time with my family. So I've got all these business things I want to do, but family time is actually one of my biggest priorities right now. So, okay, we build that in, we make sure that is important, and we work around it. So in terms of time management and getting balance across life, again, what phase and stage are you in life? When I first started out in business, I was, about to be a mum for the first time. So then I'm trying to now balance, okay, I'm going to have a newborn, and how am I going to make this business? Okay, now she's in nursery. Okay, I've got 3 hours that I can do some work uninterrupted, and am I going to clean in that time, or am I going to do the business, or am I going to have a cleaning day, and so that the other 4 days I can get that balance right? Or I've got so much time on my hands. Okay, so what's important? I want to have social time, and I want to invest in the bit. But again, Mondays are not a good day for me, so let me use Mondays or Fridays as my early. What does it look like? Balance time. Make sure that the things that you want to do, the things that are important to you, are balanced, and you're getting a good, healthy balance of business and life and work. And then, as we talked about already, scaling, but just make sure there's consistency in your output and what it is that you're doing, and that you're making it scalable. So that was today's session, and we looked at KPIs, the importance of measuring, the importance of having that sure foundation, that kingdom mindset, having yourself rooted and grounded in that, so that you can stay focused on what it is that you're doing, stay focused on that root why. So now let's look at the journaling prompts for this session. What can you monitor in your business? Again, we talked about your output, the things that you do. You can't necessarily control what's coming back, but what is it that you can monitor in terms of what's your output? What is it that you can monitor in your business? How often will you monitor it? Like I said, I sat down with myself every Monday morning. That was the first thing. Let me look at the figures. Let me look at the sales. Let me look at the marketing. Let me look at what I did, all the things that I did. Tick, tick, tick. Well done, Camille. All the 7 things you said you were going to do last week, you did it. And now this is the output. What will you monitor? How often will you monitor it? How will you record it? So for me, I'm not great for the trees and the environment, but at the time, this is a couple of years ago, forgive me, but I had printed sheets, and so each week I would write. Then I think I moved it into Excel, and so I'd look at it because then I can monitor and see the numbers moving. So where are you going to record it? Somewhere that you can go back to on that, how often, on that time, whether it's monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, but where is it going to be? Because it's one thing to say you're going to do it, and then this week it was over here, the next week I did it in that book, the other week, no. Consistency. Where are you going to do it? Be accountable. How will you be accountable? Are you going to be accountable to yourself? Is that enough? Or do you need to be accountable to someone else? Do you need to meet with a friend, a colleague, a business partner, a business mentor? Do you need to have a regular meeting to monitor, okay, this is how things are going. This is what I've been recording. This is how it looks. Is it with your accountant? Who is it with? But how will you be accountable? Also, what kingdom impact do you see your business making as well? Finding yourself in that Isaiah 61. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, He's anointed me too. What is it that I'm doing? What is the great impact that I'm having? What will you put in place to guard your mindset when running your business? Whether it's being pulled in different really good directions. One of the things that I put in place, because I love marketing, one of my 5 in my themes, love marketing, and I'm a sucker, as it were, for marketing. I just get pulled in like, oh, tell me, oh, follow the bunny trail, oh. And so then suddenly I'm running this business, it's getting more exposure, and I'm getting more marketing attraction to me. So then people are like, oh, let's market to her. Would you like to advertise with us? Wouldn't you put House of Ilona in here? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I'm just being pulled and lured into different directions. So what I put in place as my healthy boundary and my own personal accountability was, tell me how much of your audience is women in ministry, because that was my audience. And that was my question that kept me protected, because it kept me from going down all these different bunny trails and spending all of this money. Do you have my target audience? And my target audience was so specific for that particular brand that if they weren't able to, and they were like, oh, we're not sure, we don't, we don't, then no, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you. So again, what are you putting in place to guard your mindset when running your business? For good marketing's good, but actually not necessarily, that wasn't necessarily good for me at the time. I had very, very specific marketing because I had such a niche audience. I had a specific way of marketing to them. So what is in place to guard your mindset for good, for the bad, when people are like, oh, what you're doing is no good, and the negativity, when that comes, if that comes, what's in place? Weapons are formed against us, but we have to make sure that we are ready. We're not ignorant of the enemy's devices. So when the enemy comes with those devices and those weapons and knows how to get in there, what do you use? Where are you going? Prayer, journaling. I've got this friend. I've got a pastor. I've got a certain person that I can reach out to and be like, help, need help, struggling right now. So where do you go to? How will you balance your time, and how will you remain accountable? And also, what's your big dream when it comes to scaling? So ultimately, I would love to, what does that look like? I'm starting this business, and by the end of it, I would love to exit and sell it for, or I would love to pass this on to my children, or what is the overall big overarching goal that in 2, 5, 10, 20, 50 years, I would love for this too. What does that look like? And finally, for homework, speak to business owners, people who are in your field, have conversations with them, be brave. One of the things that has been in my spirit recently is be brave, don't play small. And the power of be brave, like brave is who you are and who you were created to be. Life and situations and issues and things like make us go down and lose that courage and bravery. But when we begin to strip all of that off, be brave, be who you were created to be. Don't play small, because playing is character, it's acting. It's not who you really are. Oh no, I'll just speak to my own friends and family. I'm not going to really speak to anyone else. I'm not going to put myself out on LinkedIn and actually go where all the strangers and all the people and all the actual potential customers are. Don't be silly. I'm just going to play small. I'm just going to play it down. I'm just going to keep having conversations in this really comfortable, safe space. That's playing. That's not who you really are. Be brave. As God said to Joshua, be brave and courageous. I've put something in your hands. I've called you for a specific purpose. You're taking your God-given purpose and we're studying, how do I package this? How do I put this into a business? How do I bless more people with this gift? How do I become profitable? How do I scale? How do I reach tens and hundreds and thousands and millions with my message, with my product, with my service, with my brand, with my idea? Speak to people, have conversations, be brave, don't play small. Listen to podcasts, go and get the lights on, get knowledge, get education, read books, read about other people's journey in your industry, read about unrelated industries, bring a different techniques and skills from other industries into what it is you do. Write the patterns and themes and collect the pearls of wisdom, the pearls of great price. Collect them. Be precious about them. Be intentional with them. If you have a really expensive chain of pearls, you're not just wearing that down to the supermarket. It's the special occasions. It's the real intentional events where I'm going to take out my pearls and I'm going to wear them with pride in this space. I'll bring my pearls with them into this place. Take your pearls where they're needed the most. I'm taking my pearls that I've gathered, my business lessons, the things that I've learned in life, and I've gathered the pearls and I've poured the pearls into this document, and I'm pouring my pearls out into a place of worth, of value. You're someone who will see great value in these lessons. You're someone who will take the pearls and learn from my lessons, and you'll use this worksheet and you'll write down your own lessons and you'll go on your own journey to one day help someone else with what you've then gone through and learned. And the pearls get richer and deeper. So use your pearls of great price. Write down, journal, process. I was able to take my business journey of entrepreneurship and write my first book, Finding Divine Flow, because I wrote down and I journaled all the time. I journaled through my journey. I would use the Day One app and I would journal and I've got years worth of content. And when I was ready to write my book, everywhere that I wrote something and I was like, bars, I'd be like, okay, hashtag book. So when I'm ready to write my book, I can go back to everywhere it says hashtag book and I can pull all of those pearls, all of those wisdom, all of those lessons, I can pull them all together and start to compile my book when I'm ready to write it. And then that's what I was able to do. I was able to write my first book, Finding Divine Flow, The Journey to Seeking, Finding and Flowing in Purpose. I was able to write that book. I was then able to go from the book to then doing an audio book. And then the book was finished, but there was still more to say. So then I was able to do a podcast, the Finding Divine Flow podcast. And then more people were like, wow, how did you write the book? How did you do it? So then people wanted to write their own books. And then I started Divine Flow Publishing. And I started helping people to publish and write their own books. And then throughout lockdown, I was in Zoom meetings and I was only seeing the top of people's heads, and because they were writing, because I was helping people with their writing and journaling and processing and flowing and asking powerful questions. And so we started Divine Flow Academy, and I'm still here talking about divine flow, finding divine flow in business. And so what is your journey, your story, your pearls? Don't miss those lessons, the things that you say that inspire people. Find somewhere to write it down, because when you write it down and you capture it, it's part of your journey. And some of your learnings is what's going to help someone else, because that's why I'm here. Because what I collected in my journey is now helping someone. So don't lose your lessons, but use them as, literally take them as precious pearls that God is entrusting to you, and it's lessons that someone else needs. This has been Finding Divine Flow in Business. I'm Camelle Ilona, and it has been an honor to serve you, praying God's richest blessings over you, your business, your product, your service, your ideas, your brand, your marketing, everything that you do, praying that God's divine flow will flow through you in your business, flow through you in your ideas, flow through you as you begin to take action. Faith without works is dead. So as you take action, as you believe that this is what God has been taking you through in your life, as you believe, as you put action to it, I pray God's divine flow in everything that you do. I pray that as you put your business out, that it will be spread abroad, that news and fame of what it is that you do will be spread abroad to people's hearts, minds, and lives who need it, and that God would bless your every step with success. That your steps would be ordered by the Lord, and that He would have His divine flow and way through you, your life, and your business. In Jesus' name, God bless you. Amen.